The book of Proverbs, verse 20. Deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. Christian RPG gamers. So, I think for this video, I wanted to talk about the idea of easy modes, and also playing the games on certain games and stuff on harder difficulties. So, okay, I guess I'll just give this one quick little blurb before I start the video. So, I know on my channel I've talked about some more difficult topics. I think for this YouTube channel going forward, or my social medias, especially linked to the main account, I think I'm just gonna wash my hands from a lot of the taking different sides on the major political issues and all the controversial issues and stuff. I think I'm either not gonna talk about that stuff anymore, or I'm gonna become a lot more isolationist about it. Because there's a lot of problems in the world, and I don't need to go sit around virtue signal constantly. So I think I'm just going to. I think I'm just this channel is going to become a lot more neutral towards a lot of that stuff. And I also feel at the end of the day, there are plenty of other people you could go out and watch and listen to and talk about that stuff. And I should just focus more on just normal vanilla fun stuff. And there are hundreds of people out there you could watch and listen to. So before I start this video, I guess I just wanted to say I think I'm just going to try to be more politically neutral. Obviously, this is going to take some time, but just try to be a little more wholesome of a channel. Okay, so when it comes to video games, I in the past, I played a lot of games on a lot of different variety of difficulties. So I guess I'll start by saying a couple of these things. So certain types of games I like to play different difficulties on for different reasons. A lot of the Dungeons and Dragons style games, I usually like to play those on story mode. Just a minimal, simple, easy combat. And just kind of a low stress, no overly worried kind of stuff. A lot of games what do you call it? The first person shooters, you got the medieval style. I mean, I do at times like to play those on normal difficulty. Sometimes I also like to play those in the harder difficulty too. Not crazy hard, but or for example, you got you got the Outer Worlds, you got The Witcher 3, you got Fallout 4, Skyrim, Greedfall, all that kind of stuff, right? I like to play those games. Sometimes I play them on easier, but I'm also usually open-minded to playing those games on a harder difficulty. So just cranking up just a little bit beyond normal. Nothing I don't always enjoy playing on super hard difficulty, but so yeah, I feel again I do feel a lot of turn-based games and a lot of deeply story-based games, even this game here I'm using the background footage. It's called Unicorn Overlord. I mean, I do enjoy playing a lot of these games on a more of a simple difficulty, but it probably because I'm just not as good necessarily at them. But I do feel there is wisdom to try to consider pushing yourself a little bit too. I don't want to be the moral authority telling people what they can or can't do. But again, there's wisdom to pushing yourself, because it's the only way you're ever going to get better. And I am trying, at least for a handful of games, I'm trying to play a little bit of higher difficulty, and just kind of push myself a little bit, even if that would mean going from the bottom level difficulty to maybe even just going up one level. Or if you're playing on like very easy, maybe just play it on easy, or try playing a few games on normal. You know, if you're playing on easy, or maybe you're on normal, try playing on hard, and just kind of see how it works, and just consider just pushing yourself a little bit. And like again, like I have no hate towards somebody if they want to play like on easy mode either, because I mean like it is a game and it should be about fun, right? But like I mean like at the same time, personal growth is important, and there's a lot of satisfaction to trying harder things too, or just even trying new things. And this could also go down to the idea of like, for example, I was playing some like what do you call it, Magic the Gathering. There's some arena. Say like like you make a mistake with your move. Maybe you just decide that I'm just not gonna take my move back, or maybe I'm not gonna scoop the game. I'm just gonna push it out. Presuming that my opponent's not like kind of like what do you call it? Not be too crass. Right? Not trying. If my opponent's not being like a massive dick about it, right? There are times to scoop, but say you make a mistake, maybe just keep pushing forward, and maybe you can learn from that mistake, and maybe it does cost you the game, because sometimes you can still win even if you make a mistake, and that's the only way you're ever going to gain some perseverance. And that's the only way you're ever going to get better at playing video games. Because you keep playing on the easy difficulty, you never have to try harder, you never get the true full experience, and you're never going to get better at the game. If you put the game on normal, or even you try playing on the harder difficulties, the game is going to probably crush you. It's going to beat you down, it's going to laugh and like spit in your face and disrespect you. And you're going to have to get back up, and you're going to have to try it again. And you're going to probably, to be honest, be very frustrated, and it's going to be very difficult. But you'll slowly learn how to get good. And you'll have to change your strategy, and you'll have to do things a little bit differently. And maybe you'll have to restart at one point, depending on your situation. And there could be a pretty high level of a challenge. But I would also argue, and like you are going to get a lot better at the game. You play against harder enemies or harder players or whatever it might be. You're gonna, again, you surround yourself with better people. You're slowly gonna get better yourself, and you might start realizing, how and why you're getting better at the game, right? Or again, like for myself, for example, right? And again, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be like a preacher, or I'm not necessarily trying to be like a moral hypocrite or something either. I mean, I'm just coming flat out and being honest about it, right? I mean, in the past, I have played a lot of games on easy, but I mean, looking back, it's a little bit morally gray. Like, I mean, if you beat the game, you still beat the game at the end of the day. But a lot of these Dungeons and Dragon-like games, I really should consider just trying on a harder difficulty. I know they have a lot of those, like, say like the lot older D&D style games. They're not turn-based. They have what's it called, like the auto pause ones, where like it's partially turn-based, but it's also kind of real time at the same point. So again, like, it is difficult, but I think once you start learning how the different stuff works, and you start learning how to play the game better, I do think you will gain skill. Same thing myself. Like, I'm sure that if I start pushing myself a bit more, some of these, I mean, I'll get better. And like, again, like you might also, to be honest, if you put on harder difficulties, you might lose. You might lose in games. It might feel really bad, and you might look really bad, and it might just be terrible. You're like an L, right? Sometimes when you try new things or you push yourself, you get an L. Like, I think as the Bible says, although a righteous man may fall, 7 times he rises again. And there is truth to that. and you take an L today, and then you get back up, you learn from your mistakes, you get stronger. You go out and try again. And maybe you get like, instead of getting a large L, you get a slightly smaller L next time. You get like a small L because you fail a second time. So you have to get back up and you try it again. And maybe you also fail again. Then you push forward and you keep getting better and you keep getting less bad till eventually you push through and you beat the scenario. You win was it like Unicorn Overlord? You push through a map area. And you learn how to get good, and then you feel amazing. You feel like a legend. What's weird? You become like a Giga Chad, right? Like you beat a game on a harder difficulty, or harder than you normally would be accustomed to. And then then going forward, you feel a lot more confident. You feel stronger. You feel better. Like maybe you're more comfortable playing on a harder difficulty, or maybe you even just play on normal difficulty. Or again, you try it on hard, and hard is just very difficult. It's very stressful, but you learn that you can do it if you really want to, and you can push yourself. And you play on harder difficulties. Eventually, you come back to the easier modes, and you just wipe the floor on easy, and you realize you actually have gotten a lot better. Or you play in like a PvP style game, and you realize that you're able to win and you're able to accomplish against people who are of an equal level, or you play against like the rookie level people, and you end up being really good. You end up winning games and stuff. So yeah. Again, like I do feel like it's a good healthy sense. It's like a good sense of a good sense of a healthy sense of pride, a healthy sense of self-esteem. It's like a very older classical version of idealism, like seeking glory, seeking honor. Kind of like a knight, maybe even. And a lot of people never realize just how good they actually could be at a game. And also, again, like playing on the easy difficulties, you're never going to get better at the game. And also, a lot of easy difficulties never really require you to have to use half of your resources. And it's like, you get to play super lax. You don't have to think about most of your choices. Like, it's almost like a meme these days, but like, you play The Witcher 3, for example. If you play The Witcher 3 on easy, or even on normal, you never have to make... Like, if you play The Witcher 3 on easy, you literally can beat the game without ever really having to do, like, almost anything. You don't have to do any kind of side activities. You don't really have to make any decoctions. Or you don't even have to really upgrade your armor or get new armor. You don't even have to be honest. You don't even have to equip your skills. you only have to do to beat The Witcher 3 on easy is just do the very basic bare minimum amount. And it's not the most true experience. It doesn't really feel that satisfying. And so you want to play the game on Death March, for example. The game requires you to do just about everything in the game, or you have to reach a certain threshold of like getting good at the game. And I do feel like there is a deep level of satisfaction to that. Like, you have to make all your decoctions, you have to make all your oils, you have to constantly be upgrading your armor, repairing your stuff. You have to make the better moral choices, and sometimes you have to give up a level of your personal sense of, some of your personal sense of ego a little bit, and that's a hard thing to accept, because the game becomes more real, and it's a lot harder. And there is stress-inducing to it. Again, you don't get to your health doesn't regenerate when you meditate in The Witcher 3. Resources become you have to use your resources a lot more. But it also, again, playing on a harder difficulty, it incentivizes you to do all the side stuff. And everything you do in the side stuff, it matters a lot. Like, the extra couple hundred money or a couple thousand money, it starts to matter a lot because you need to upgrade your equipment. And like, you feel like you need to do all those things because you're trying to you're playing the game to the fullest. And the same thing with like, playing Skyrim. I was playing a walkthrough of Skyrim. And I was playing it on survival difficulty. And I was also playing, I put it on expert. I think that's supposed to be hard. I think adept is supposed to be normal and then expert's hard as far as I can tell. Now, I didn't want to put on like excessively high difficulties because it becomes very bullet spongy in like Skyrim, but there was a lot of satisfaction. Like, I had to eat food. I had to you have to sleep every like 8 hours. You have to eat food. You have to worry about how cold it is. You can't level up instantly. Your health does not regenerate. Reduces your carrying capacity. And then if you fail on those areas that you just like decide you're just not going to do something, it'll start to give you negative debuffs in the game. And again, like there is a level of stress to this, but it also, again, it does add a lot of immersion. And then it's very satisfying. And also you can get positive benefits too. Like, I was watching this guy, I guess, shout out to him. I don't know if he's going to watch this video or not. I was watching this guy, his name's called, it's called Arctic Owl, like NJW, I think. So he was playing The Witcher 3. And again, like, he was playing it on the hardest difficulty. He put the auto scaling up. And tell you the truth, it was a difficult challenge for him. But he got through it, right? Now, I don't think he's finished the game yet, but he's at like max level. He has crazy good equipment. He's doing everything in the game. He beat the Gwent. He did all this stuff, right? He's still crazy good at the game. And he was able to do it. And there is a satisfaction to that, right? Now, you might have to do multiple areas several times just to get through it, but there is satisfaction to that. And again, like, you can do it too. It is possible to beat games on hard difficulties. Now, it might depend on the game you're playing too, to be honest. Some games are just brutally difficult. But you definitely are capable of it. Because, like, if other people can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it. And the same thing with, like, like Dark Souls, for example. Dark Souls is a hard game. I was playing some of this, what's it called? It's called Iron. Oh, no, Tales of Iron. And again, that game is also very stressful as a Dark Souls-like. But you can do it. You can win. Now, I think I was playing on normal, and it is very stressful, but you can beat it. The same thing with, like, harder difficulties. You can do it. Other people have done it. And, like, it's possible. The same thing with, like, the D&D, all the D&D style games, like the Pillars of Eternities and the Divinity Original Sin and all that kind of stuff. You can beat the games on harder modes, or Baldur's Gate 3, right? It is possible. Is it challenging? Sure. Is it stress-inducing? Yeah. Can you fail? Can you lose? Can there be consequences? Yes. But it's possible. Well, the same thing with, like, Fire Emblem and a lot of these games. You can do it. Other people have been able to do it. It is possible. So I don't really shame people for playing on the easy, but there is, like, a sense of getting, like, this, like, this, like, eternal, like, trophy or something, for trying on something hard. You pushed yourself. Maybe you beat the game on a harder difficulty. That is really satisfying, and that's not something everybody's gonna do. Some people might, sure, but not everybody. And maybe you play on a hard difficulty and you fail a bunch. You eventually push through, and maybe you revert it back to a little bit easier. That's also okay too. Maybe just consider trying it. Consider pushing yourself a little bit. And like it is possible to win. Also like I don't know, from like a Christian point of view either, but you put your faith in the Lord. I believe that I believe that He will help you win, because He is our victory at the end of the day. So yeah, I guess like maybe just have a little faith, right? Okay, so so I'm not sure how much longer I want to make this video, but I just want to say like, just consider trying a little bit harder. The next time you want to start a brand new fresh walkthrough or something, or go through a game, just consider trying. Whether I myself do it or whether everybody else does it, just consider trying to push yourself a little bit more. Give yourself a little bit of a disadvantage, or give your opponent a little bit more of an advantage, or just try something a little bit more difficult, or at least just consider it, right? That's the only way you're ever going to grow and get better. Okay, so I guess like in the comment section below, let me know what your thoughts are, and what games do you play on easier difficulties and what games do you play on harder difficulties, and do you have any kind of tips or tricks for a person to want to what's the word? How am I trying to say this? Any tips or tricks or advice on how people can play games on harder difficulties, or how they can break the mental mold they have that of sticking with like only playing on the easiest, and how can people get out of their comfort zone to try harder things? Let me know what your thoughts are, or whatever you think about any of this stuff. And also, well, I guess also here's another question. This is kind of just like a little jank video anyways, but I did want to talk about it. What do you think about this channel specifically becoming more politically neutral, and kind of just me washing my hands from a lot of all this stuff? Okay, so like, the Middle East has all these problems. There are like multiple wars starting. I mean, there's all these issues, right? You got all these hot button problems, and all these. You got the election season coming up, and all this stuff. I feel like it's just you got all the quote unquote. You got massive woke stuff, and there's all these problems, and like I feel like it's just so stressful. And I struggle to keep track of who was really right and who was really wrong, and which side of the aisle I really want to stand by every single time. I want to stand by, in holiness. I want to stand by God, by the true Christian faith. But when it comes to like politics, I'd rather be more of a centrist, and just kind of again like just stop. I feel like I want to stop taking sides, especially on all these major issues. And I mean, unless it's like a very clear-cut moral choice. So yeah, I mean, I feel like again, it's probably the best thing for this channel to just focus more on having fun, more on positive things and more neutral things, and go back to gaming and stuff. And I think I would like for the channel, for me just to stop talking about all that stuff. But I mean, again, it's like a ship. I think there's even like a little biblical message about it. I've heard like pastors talk about like you have a big ship, you have like a little rudder at the bottom, and a little rudder. Oh, okay. I'll just watch this video background for like a minute or two. But you have a little rudder, and it shifts the direction you go, but it's gonna take a long time, right? And like I think it would be a good thing for this channel. It's just to focus on more like playing games, or just talking about RPG stuff, or of the Christian faith and stuff, and just leave politics, and I should just like abstain from all that stuff. And there are people out there who talk about that stuff all the time. And like I mean, I have made some videos in the past. I mean, I think I just removed them from my YouTube channel, I put them on my Altec, but some big engine out there. I'm not sure what I was gonna try to say, but yeah, I mean, I would like to make this channel just more focused on gaming, and just and then, like, again, there's the entertainment side, which I do think entertainment's important, and also I try to be like, I try to be on some level, maybe I'm like an intellectual or something, or just interesting fun stuff, or again, like I try to view myself more as like a neutral person, or like going on adventures and stuff. And I mean, I think like for the future of the channel, obviously, like this is gonna take 6 months, a year, multiple years to try to really change, but I would like to just not do that kind of stuff on the channel anymore. And I don't know, that might be offensive to some people. Like, and again, in the past, I mean, like, it's no secret, I generally speaking, in the past, I've been more of like an independent, and I've also been more of like a Republican. But the world is just going so crazy, and like this channel, I feel like if I just keep talking about extremely negative, hostile, all this kind of stuff, or like toxic stuff, it's just going to destroy the channel, and it's just going to cause so much division. So if you have any thoughts about this, or also if you have any kind of advice for myself or anybody else out there on why like my channel should just remain more just about like, remain more about like talking about Christianity and like gaming, and not talking about all that stuff, or whatever your thoughts are on that either. But yeah, I mean, the politics of the world, it's just, this stuff is just getting so out of control. And like, I really just don't want to bring that stuff onto my channel. So maybe like, and like, maybe it's just getting so, it's like, I feel like every day it's just pounding so heavy. Like, like, maybe I just need to talk about it just for like a couple minutes. I don't know honestly, even who's gonna watch this video, to be honest. But maybe you feel the same way. It's just like the world is it's just going nuts. And even when all of this season and all these issues go away, probably in the next like 3 months, all of this stuff is just gonna kind of just come to an end. There's always gonna be a brand new problem. If it's not all of these issues, there's gonna be something else. Everybody has a reason to be mad, and everybody has a reason to just kind of blow the lid up all day, every day. So once all these issues are done, there's bound to be something else. So okay, so yeah, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, again, I'm gonna end this here, but yeah, I would really like to just focus on having fun on the channel, and just talking about normal stuff, and just stop talking about like extremely dark, uncomfortable crap every single time, unless it's like relevant to the content itself. All right, well, thanks for watching. God is good.